Hi everyone, my name is Hurd and this is my video blog reflection on the informative speech. So an informative speech is basically to inform your audience on a topic. I did water contamination specifically by humans, and going into this I was pretty confident because I did a lot of research, and so by the time I was ready to do this speech I was pretty ready to be able to actually say it. Speaker ethos are a speaker's credibility even before they say anything or open their mouths. It's how they present themselves and what they make the audience feel before they even say their speech. I did speaker ethos by using 4 credible sources. 3 of them I think were academic journals, so they were very credible. And I also had personal experiences with water contamination. I've been to Florida a couple times, so I've seen the beaches that are pretty messed up because of human contamination. So I was definitely a little bit more experienced in this than maybe a person who hasn't been to beaches or actually seen water contamination. I think that my technology was adequate. I had the latest version of PowerPoint on my computer and nothing was a big deal with that. Sometimes the audio didn't completely work, but I think that was more me than the computer's problem. In designing a PowerPoint, I think essentially you just need to make sure that people are able to read it. If a person can't read your PowerPoint, it definitely takes away from your speech, and it's just not as good. Especially backgrounds, make sure that they're the opposite of your font color, so dark background, light color, that kind of thing. And like in the video that was on the Desire to Learn website, you want to stay away from like busy charts and all that kind of stuff so that people are paying attention to what you're saying and just looking over at your PowerPoint rather than just trying to read everything on your PowerPoint and not listening to what you're saying. So the structure of the speech was okay. I had a pretty easier time with the introduction and the conclusion because it was kind of, at the conclusion you were wrapping up everything and making sure that they understood what you were saying, and the introduction was just kind of saying what you were going to say. So I found those easier to do, but the link to the next point and the transitional statements I had a little bit of a problem with. I just don't think I've worked with it before, so I just didn't exactly know how to do it. So I think that was the issue, but I figured it out and it was okay, so it was fine. One thing that was odd that I found, I kept having to repeat myself. I felt like I was saying my main points over and over again, because that's what you have to do to make a good speech. I totally get that. I just thought it was odd that I had to keep repeating it, and I think it's very important anyway. And it really, when I rewatched it again, I found that I was really sticking to my main points even though I've heard them a million times. I definitely remembered them easier since I had to repeat them so many times. With my audience, I think that it was pretty good. I didn't have to speak to really little kids, so I kept that in mind. I made sure that I didn't patronize my audience and saying exactly what every little word was, since I knew that they were going to know what I meant. I also made sure that I didn't speak to if people that were professionals on the subject. I wasn't acting like they knew everything. I made sure to explain the things that maybe were a little bit confusing. One problem that I had, my speech was too long. I really wanted to fit more information in there than I could fit in 6 minutes. The first time I did it, I timed it and it was like 7 minutes and 15 seconds. It was way too long. So I redid it a couple times, and then it turned out to be the right time. So it was fine. It was just too long at the beginning, and then I redid it, so it was fine. One thing I learned really well from the book was on page 109 and 108 in chapter 11. It was the charts on the introductions, conclusions, and transitional statements. Like I said before, I didn't do a whole lot of transitional statements, so I didn't really know how to do them, and that chart really helped me learn how to do them. Plus, it's always nice to get to see the introductions and conclusions in there. So, thanks for watching. This is my video blog presentation on the informative speech reflection. Thank you.